Last stream, everybody. Last stream. All right. All right. Getting excited. So, as a gift for my last stream to myself, or my computer to myself, my ring light that gives me all of the energy in the world to shine on my face. It had a little remote attached to it, right? An inline remote. It's broken. So it turned it on, and then it promptly died. And it's blasting at me with full energy, because it also had little plus and minus levels, and I can't change the mode. I can't do any of it. So I'm gonna see if I can contact the manufacturer today and get a replacement. I'm really hoping that I can. Hi, Tyler. Really hoping that I can, because that's a big old bummer. That is a big old bummer. Tyler, Destiny. Last stream, Grayson. Last stream for the class. Hang on one sec. Madison, good morning. Audrey, good morning. Sophia. Alrighty. So I've made some changes to how things look. After today's class, whether or not you're interested or not, up here is my new schedule. My new schedule for streaming. I need to make the change on my offline image, but you know, whatever. So, starting next week, I'm going to be streaming Wednesday evenings. This is more of an office hours science kind of stream. Like, it'll be virtual office hours, so when I'm at home, y'all be at home. So if you're in my class next semester, that's when you can come and hang out for office hours, clarification on stuff that's happened in class. So that's what I plan to do on Wednesday evenings, and then on Sunday mornings, I'm gonna, do whatever. Mostly science-based streams. But sometimes I'll play some games. Sometimes I'll do some live editing of my podcast in Adobe Audition and other things. So if you want to come by, that's what I plan on doing those days. Also, office hours as well. Like, if Wednesday evening doesn't work, but Sunday morning does, then come on by. So I will be available here on Twitch at those times, and I don't know when I'm gonna stop, so I probably won't stop. I don't know. I really enjoy this, and I hope you did too. On the quiz tomorrow, there will be a couple of questions for you regarding just, kind of like what you've already seen before us, a couple of quizzes regarding that, or a couple of questions regarding that. So, be aware of that. Of course, they are bonus. They are of the bonus variety. Okay. Good morning, Rachel. Yeah, I spent the portion of office hours yesterday messing around with all of this stuff that you see on all of the different screens that I show, because I am extra. Yes, and Astrid will say the same thing. I am extra. We're a little bit Alexis, right? We're all a little bit Alexis, I think. Yeah, so today's the last stream. What'd you think of the class? Public comments only. You can leave private comments for me on the bonus questions. What'd you think of the class? I am very curious what you thought of the delivery method using Twitch. I don't know if you last semester, for those who finished high school, or for those had classes at Eureka last semester. What did you think of this particular delivery? As we talk about prosocial behavior, and you can consider an instructor like me using this delivery method as a prosocial method. Not necessarily required to do, of course. There are other ways in which people can deliver online classes. Some don't even use synchronous methods. So, what did you think before we get into today's topic? What did you think of this delivery? I'm very curious. I'm constantly keeping mental notes of various ways. And I know before you explain, you don't like the ads. I get it. I don't like ads either. So, ads notwithstanding. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Grayson, thanks for that. Face-to-face delivery. Yeah. I also had an online class back when I was a young whippersnapper such as yourself. And it was all asynchronous. It was so boring. So boring. I mean, I did it, but it was so boring. Yeah, Rachel, that's an interesting side. It's an interesting side issue about like Brightspace and stuff. Because generally speaking, you would already know Brightspace before taking an online class and that kind of stuff. But of course, it does require some tech buy-in to get started. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Sorry. But so I'm glad that it worked out for you after you figured out Brightspace. Yeah, it's not, Brightspace isn't too terrible. Terrible. Sophia says 10 out of 10. Very interesting method, but it worked really well. Great first class experience at Eureka. Aw, thanks. Those are the kinds of comments. Those are the kinds of comments that I freaking live for. This is why I do that, right? Just to get praise. Shower the praise. I'm kidding. No, but I do appreciate those kinds of comments for sure. Really, it's validating, right? It's very validating. Audrey, comparing it to online classes I've had before, this feels a lot more involved than other classes. Feel like just checklist of things to get done, but this was a lot more interesting than other online classes. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Righty. First thing. A lot of great. Oh, I think this might have been it. Okay. Are we ready to talk about? Let's. I'm gonna. Okay. So I'm bigger now. Chat's gonna appear in that box right. All right. So my first question to you, as we start today, about prosocial behavior and helping. By the way, that extra credit is still on the table. A couple of hours left. A little less than 2 hours left to get that in. I've only received one email, so I mean, not everybody needed extra credit, so wasn't a big deal if you didn't do it. But those of you who wanted it, for sure, 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. Central Time. All right. So, the first question that I have for you to get us started with helping and prosocial behavior is an example that I found, but it's basically only text. Well, it's text that I'm reading, so it'll be audio only for you. Okay. So, it's a great one. I think it's a great one. Kind of like superhero kind of stuff. Or maybe something else. Here's my question. This is where you think of an answer. If you could do anything humanly possible with complete assurance that you would not be detected or held responsible, what would you do? So, I'm going to do this, just in case people can't hear me. You could do anything humanly possible with complete assurance that you would not be detected or held responsible, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? Man, this light is super bright in my face. I think I can change control software so it's not brightly shining, like I'm blown out or anything like that. Morning, Aaliyah. In chat, there's a question for you. Morning, Merrick. So Merrick says redistribute Jeff Bezos' wealth among people. Okay, that's fine. Hold up. Before you start putting the answers in chat, just write them to yourself. Before you put them into chat. So, Merrick, if that is what you want for your answer, just write it to yourself for now. Okay, Okay, well, okay, good. If that's not your actual answer, Rachel, very good. You don't have to change your answer. You don't have to change your answer, Merrick. I just should have been a little bit more explicit about what we're doing after you answer that question. So just keep it to yourself for now. I will hear them in just a bit. I will get them in just a bit. That's my bad. Okay. So when you come up with your racial, if that's your answer, I mean that's your answer, right? But if you I have no want or need to do that. Murder. Okay. All right. So next to what you've written down, either on a piece of paper or a document that you have open, I want you to code it. So you're going to code it as either prosocial. So is it helping others? Is it committing a positive act? Or is it antisocial? So is it a criminal act? Is it hurting others? Or number 3, and I'm going to put a poll up so we can get a look at this. So hang on just a second. Number 3, is it non-normative? So does it violate social norms, but not specifically helping or hurting others? So something like a sexual act or something like spying. So if you're like, I'm going to be invisible and I'm going to go spy on people, that would be coded as 3, and number 3. Or 4, neutral. It doesn't fit into any of the previous categories. So it's more like a catch-all. So I'm going to do a poll for you. And then you are going to do that. And then you're going to let me know what act it is. Okay. In chat. So as soon as you answer the poll, drop your answer in chat. What category is your act? 1, prosocial. 2, antisocial. 3, non-normative. And 4, neutral. Yeah, I'll just say that. And we will do 5 minutes for this poll vote. And then once you vote, just drop your answer in chat. Once you vote, drop your answer in chat. So, Elena, the idea that the thing we're doing right now is answering the question, if you could do anything humanly possible, and anyone else who wants to participate, who is in chat today, if you could do anything humanly possible with complete assurance that you would not be detected or held responsible, what would you do? Then you vote in the poll to code your answer as prosocial, antisocial, non-normative, or neutral. So here comes the poll. It's at the top of the chat. Okay, it's at the top of the chat. If you are in my class and didn't say anything in chat, please do so now so you can get counted for today. Counted for this last day. Alright. Yeah. Antisocial's winning this one, that's for sure. That's kind of funny. Alright, so as soon as you vote, do put your actual answer. Not the answer that you chose, the act. Write down your act in chat. Grayson robbing a bank. Madison robbing a bank. Alright. Audrey shoplifting. Okay. Shoplifting. Shoplifting what, though? Sophia says, expose whatever may be going on in the government and celebrity world in effort to rightfully convict wrongdoers and take away unjust power. Wow. That is an answer. Merrick, I lied. My answer didn't change. Very good. Okay, Jeff Bezos' wealth. Yeah, he's the world's first trillionaire, if you haven't been paying attention. He's the world's first billionaire. Or trillionaire, sorry. The world's first billionaire. World's first trillionaire. Somebody today was like, a friend of mine today was like, he could literally give all of his employees their yearly salaries up front and be like, I'm gonna buy an island. Any other answers I'm looking for here? I think for Grayson and Madison, I would say it's okay to dream bigger, darling. It's okay to dream a little bigger, darling. That's the line from Inception. Or don't be afraid to dream a little bit. Jesus. Don't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling. Instead of robbing a bank, maybe rob Fort Knox. Get all that gold, because you know what's going up right now? The value of gold. Yeah, people are afraid that because of the pandemic, we're gonna end up in a situation of hyperinflation, and the only thing that's gonna hold value is physical objects. So get that gold. Invest in gold. Invest in gold, maybe, if you can. Okay. Now, voting is almost done. Antisocial is going to eke out a win. It is technically a majority. It is technically a majority. Only 8 people voted, though. Which is strange. So. Alright. Generally speaking, antisocial won. Okay. Generally speaking, what you see is this is what happens. This is what happens. Interesting that, I mean, very small sample, of course, only 8 votes. Very small sample, but generally speaking, this is what happens. Okay. And it's reflective of de-individuation, okay? But the interesting thing is something that Rachel said earlier, which was she first thought of murder. So not only does the idea of robbing a bank, shoplifting, etc., it reflects not only de-individuation, but that when you are not going to be held to account for what you do, you're going to think of negative or antisocial / non-normative acts first, not pro-social acts. So this is from an educator by the name of Nora Murphy. She does this in her in her intro psych classes. How do you feel about the fact that for most people, prosocial acts don't come naturally? How does that make you feel? Does that make Sophia says, asks, are we implicitly selfish? Be implicitly selfish. Well, if you consider it from a biological standpoint, yeah. So Richard Dawkins wrote a book called The Selfish Gene. And it's not a gene. The title of the book has a double meaning to it, and so people were like, "Oh, I have a selfish gene in my body, like I have a blue eye color gene in my body." No, the idea is, our genes are selfish. All they want to do is procreate, right? And so, from a biological standpoint, yeah, we are implicitly and driven to be self-interested. But on a psychological level, it's actually counterintuitive to be selfish, even though we are. Grayson says, I can't trust anybody. I'm sorry, bud. That's a bummer. Merrick, I asked, how does it make you feel that, for most people, the first thing that comes to mind is antisocial or non-normative acts, if you are not going to be held to account? That was my... Yeah. Any other, let me know if anybody put in chat if anybody else has thoughts on that, because it's an important question. I think it's an important question, and it's a question that we should grapple with. Okay? It's a question that we should be self-reflective of. Okay? We are not islands among ourselves, right? We have to be social animals. We are social animals. And we have this incredible need to belong. We have this incredible need to affiliate. And yet once we do, we operate as if we are in a vacuum, which is weird, right? Because you would think the intuitive thing would be, I'm now in a group, or I'm now affiliated, or I belong with some people, whatever. I'm going to act in a way that not only helps me, but also helps them at the same time. And then you expand that, and go on, and go on, and go on. And so, like, snowballs, right? Audrey says, growing up, you just learn that you can't trust everyone around you. It's almost an unconscious habit at this point to have an eye out for people who might have bad intent. Okay. Yeah, stranger danger, for sure. Merrick adds, it reminds me that people like to rebel against set rules, and not every intention is going to be pure, but choosing not to act on those wants or impulses shows that people aren't as bad as their worst faces. Very eloquent. I like that. Aren't as bad as their worst faces. Yeah, so we can imagine being really crappy people, but as Rachel said, when she thought of murder, I have no want or need, actually. So, I'm curious who... Rachel, who did you want to murder? I'm kidding. Don't answer that question. The feds are watching. Okay. Oh man, I am on a roll here. I am on a roll. All right. Next thing. Next question, which is kind of dovetailing. Which is dovetailing to this discussion is, why do we suck at empathy? Why do we suck at empathy? So I have some questions for you to get to that. So you don't have to answer that direct question. I do want to say that while empathy is a great way to connect to other human beings, it is not a cure-all. You were going to say no one anyways. Empathy is not a cure-all for all of the world's ills. It's not a panacea, but it is a great way to connect. Okay, it's a great way to connect. So it's a skill like any other thing, right? And most people are kind of bad at it. Okay, there is a construct floating around called trait empathy. You may have heard of it. Where people tend to be more empathic than the average. So it's said that they have a trait toward empathy. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to mention with empathy is that it's not a cure. Sorry, I said that. It's the beliefs about empathy also matter, right? So whether a person is empathic or not is deeply ingrained in their personality. It's not going to be able to be changed very much, according to Schumann, Zaki, and Dweck. Okay, Carol Dweck is a pretty big researcher here. And so personal beliefs about whether or not to be empathic is going to influence the way that you are actually empathic. So if you don't want to be empathic, then you're not going to be, because you don't have the belief that that's going to be useful or helpful to you. Okay. So I have another activity. So these are questions for you again. Okay. We're going to prime the pump of empathy. We're going to prime that pump on what it means to empathize. Okay. I'm not going to have you do the first part, which is to form pairs. We're just going to talk about this in general. Okay. So chat is primed and ready to go. So, my questions to you about empathy, just off-the-cuff answers. Just type in chat what you think these answers are. You don't need to spend too much time thinking about them. So, a couple of questions to get you started, but by no means do you have to stick to these questions about what empathy is and how it works. Okay, that's the broad prompt to chat. It's, what is empathy and how does it work? Okay. So, for example, questions that you can directly answer are things like, can people consciously turn it up or turn it down? Okay. Or is it like a beating heart, automatically doing its job without the conscious mind needing to intervene? Okay. So what is empathy? How does it work? Is it something that can be turned on like a knob? Or is it something that is automatic and implicit? What do you think regarding empathy? Okay. I have a follow-up activity regarding this. So what do you think first and foremost in chat here? Elena says it's like a beating heart. Empathy is automatic. Okay. Grayson says it's genetically impacted more so than environmental. I don't know. You don't have to say, unfortunately. Merrick says, I think it's just your ability to identify with others, and that you can manipulate it if you take the time to learn how. Okay. Elena adds, I believe it is the ability to feel bad for others, and when you try to help them or comfort them. Okay. Andre says, I don't think that it's like a switch you can turn off and on. It's a natural thing. Personality trait. Sure. Okay. I will counter that argument. I'm not saying it's wrong. I will counter that argument by simply saying, if it's a natural thing, how do we get better at it? How and why do we get better at it if we try? Okay. Sophia, being able to recognize, understand, and share emotions with another. I feel like it's automatic, but you can choose to use it or not. I like that answer. I like that answer. It's a very good answer. Yeah. Okay. These are great answers. I think the thrust of it is coming in the form of it's automatic. Okay. Alright, next question for you. Alright, so imagine you're watching TV. I'm going to put this in chat as well. Imagine you're watching TV. By the way, this is from Zaki and Sakara. So these are questions that were asked of research participants. Imagine you're watching TV. You notice that the next show is a fundraiser to increase awareness of leukemia, which is blood cancer. It will feature the stories of kids who are suffering from this illness. Okay? So that's the premise. Put yourself in that premise. Watching TV. Next show. What is TV? Next show is going to be a fundraiser for leukemia. St. Jude's. What I want you to do is write down 3 reasons why you would watch the fundraiser. Not in chat just yet, just to yourself. Write down 3 reasons why you would watch that fundraiser. Hey, Joe. Empathy is the ability to understand someone else's emotions based on the situation and help others. Sure. Good one. My dog was down. Alright, so imagine you're watching TV. You notice that the next show is a fundraiser to increase awareness of leukemia. Write down 3 reasons why you would watch that fundraiser. After you've written those 3 reasons down, write down 3 reasons why you not watch the fundraiser. Why you would not watch the fundraiser. Elena, to yourself, just... Alright, so 3 reasons why you would. Not in chat just yet, y'all. Not in chat just yet. Last question. last set of questions. 2 questions. How might your decision to watch the fundraiser affect your emotions? How might the decision to avoid watching the fundraiser affect your emotions? Okay. So reflect and evaluate on the first set of reasons, then evaluate and reflect on the second set of reasons. And then once you have all of that information, throw that in chat. Once you have all of that information, throw that down in chat. AJ, I'm having trouble getting to the stream, I mean. Sorry to hear that. Well, it's the last time. So once you have all of those pieces, the three reasons for watching, the 3 reasons for not watching, and then your reflection on that, drop those in Chatterino. And I will talk about them in just a second. I'm just getting some links open here. Oh. Hey, yeah. All right, Sophia says 2 reasons she would watch: support the fundraiser, to understand their struggles, and to donate. Okay. Reasons for not watching: don't want to be sad, don't want to put myself in a bad mood. I can donate without watching. Okay. And feeling sad, taking in the info, feeling bad for not supporting if didn't watch. Okay. Elena says, cancer is such a horrible thing and would like to help. It is educating. I'd want to donate. I would feel good if I donated and learned more about it. Reasons for not watching will make me sad. Make me overthink if someone that I'm assuming you meant to write someone I know is sick. I hate to see sick people. It is very upsetting. You feel useless. I would feel empathy for the people and try to find a way to help. Didn't watch, so feeling bad to not help. To not watch, I mean. Would move you to help. Okay. Okay. Audrey says, reasons to watch. I do not know much about the topic. To find out how I could raise awareness and curiosity about the stories I would hear. Okay. Okay. The Grayson says, would watch to support, maybe donate, learn something new to help. Wouldn't watch because it's time consuming. Not a lot. Watching doesn't do a lot for watching, I think is what meant for either party. Can support in other ways. Would feel like you're doing something other than donating. Watching would feel like you're doing something donating. Okay. Eric says to support the fundraiser, to share information, the fundraiser to others, and to show support for solidarity. The only reason I wouldn't watch is because I can't, like, work. I think I come from enough of a lower class that kind of thing is so important. I do whatever I can to donate money and time. So this would just be another instance. Gotcha. Alrighty. Why'd I keep... It was down here. Audrey adds reasons not to watch. It might not be interesting as another program. I don't know if it fits, so not relevant. Might have a list of productive things. Watching it would make me feel sad, but educate me. Not watching it would keep me in a good, make me feel guilty later. Guilty. That's an interesting emotion. I'm not surprised to see you write that though. According to the research that I have up here. Yeah. Okay. Keep those coming. We're gonna move on from that because I want to talk about helping in a more what's the word that I want? Concrete way, okay? And talk about what helping does. And pretty much what we're gonna do for the rest of the stream is pretty much focus on helping and volunteering and what that does to you psychologically. I'll throw in some bystander stuff, but if you have questions or if you want to know more about like Kitty Genovese, then you could drop those in chat. I'm not going to actually spend too much time on that because I did that in the lecture video. Same with the bystander effect and the issue surrounding the bystander effect. I will talk about that as we go through helping in general. But I think these ideas are a little bit more concrete, and you're constantly being bombarded with questions regarding can you help, right? So I actually have a little bit of a parody on that one. And for those of you who will graduate from anywhere, don't worry, you are going to be asked to donate to wherever you graduate from. So if you graduate from Eureka as an alum, that's gonna be so good. You are going to be asked every year to help. All right. I get asked by my alma mater, Cal State Northridge, and I get asked by UCSB all the time for money. The answer is no. Sorry, I don't have the money to give you. Don't have the money to give you. All right. So, as a bit of a palate cleanser, I want to share with you a video that I found. It's on Facebook. And I'm going to switch to this view. Okay. And then we can watch the benches clear. Sorry. Just about to play it. We can watch the benches clear from the Dodgers Astro game 2 nights ago. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. Anyways, apparently, this is a very cute advertisement. Essentially, this has to be the greatest commercial ever made. The quality is not great. Okay, so just be aware of that. So I'm going to keep it small. That was funny. This is funny. Let's go back up here. Play it again. So, it's an Argentinian ad. For organ donation. What happened at the end? What happened at the end? And yes, I believe the music, AJ, was the Up music. The intro Up. The prologue. Well, actually, just the main theme for Up. Here's throughout the movie. Yeah. That dog loved him. Recognizes his owner in this woman. Now, if that doesn't make you tear up, are. Don't worry, I already did. I watched it. Organ donor. Who's an organ donor? Actually, who's an organ donor? I am. You can donate. You can donate your whole entire body. Yes. Organ donors unite. Organ donation. Also, Merrick, pretty cool that your dog was in a Argentinian commercial. All right. Although your mom doesn't want you to be. Well, luckily it's a personal choice, right? Sorry. Well, a commercial star? Okay. That's one simple way of helping. Okay. You're not actually going to you know what? Here's the thing. You know how I said in the video, the lecture video, that it's extremely difficult for somebody to be altruistic? Well, how about this? Becoming an organ donor is by far one of the more altruistic things that a person can do. When you say that you're going to be an organ donor, it's probably going to make you feel better. And so maybe not that particular action of checking the box, yes, I'll be an organ donor. But technically, you are helping when you actually get your organs harvested for somebody else. That's altruistic because you're dead. You can't reap any benefits from that. There's no benefit for that once you're dead. Thoughts of eternal life and afterlife, whatever religion says about what happens after you die, notwithstanding, because that's not the point, right? The point is being an organ donor is one of the more altruistic things that you can ever do. Because, honestly, it makes you feel good after you tick the box, but you're an organ donor, and there's no continual benefit for actually being a donor. You don't go, well, I'm an organ donor today, and I'll be one tomorrow. Look at me. I'm an amazing person, right? Because then that would feel kind of selfish. I'm doing it for selfish reasons. I'm going and shouting from the top of the mountain, hey, everybody, I'm an organ donor. So, if you were sad that I said that humans really can't be altruistic, and it's mostly true, being an organ donor is by far one of the most altruistic things you can do in your life. AJ, you can tell your mom that that's not what happens. Organ donor status isn't generally revealed until you are pronounced dead. Because that doesn't come up in conversation between emergency doctors. They don't go, so we got this male coming in. He's suffering from a heart attack. Is he an organ donor? Let me look at his ID. Yeah, he is. Screw him. Let's harvest that liver. Let's get those lungs. Free kidneys. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So, yeah. Free kidneys! Okay. So I'm going to play this brief clip from South Park, and then we'll take a 5-minute break like we do, and then we'll come back and talk about helping in general. So, I'm sure you've been to a store or a fast food restaurant or somewhere where at the register, or grocery stores, where at the register they say something to you like, would you like to round it up to the nearest whole dollar, where the change that you're rounding up benefits some charity? Okay. I'm sure you've been in that situation. That is one way that charities get, accumulation of funds by just getting pennies here, pennies here, pennies here, pennies here, and those pennies will begin to add up. Okay? And people who work at these stores have to, ask this of every customer, or sometimes it's a question on the the pin pad when you pay by card or whatever. That number then gets added to your bill, rounding up to the nearest whole dollar or whatever. Sometimes it could be 2 freaking pennies, and you go, yeah, sure, why not? Well, South Park, if you're familiar with South Park, they took this to the extreme, of course. So satire is ahead, okay, and it's somewhat meant to be very tongue-in-cheek, okay? That's how South Park operates, right? So, and it's only 30 seconds. And it's on YouTube, so I don't think there's language. So I don't think we have to worry about that. So we'll play this, and then we'll take a 5-minute break.
On an all-new South Park.
Okay, sir. Looks like your total is $37.83. All right. Okay, and would you like to add a $1 donation to help hungry kids around the world?
Oh, no, that's okay.
Sorry?
I'm good.
I'm sorry, you don't want to give the $1 to hungry kids?
Not today, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Window's gonna come up and ask if you're helping the hungry kids. Just hit no, I'm not.
Oh, come on.
Try hitting it again. It's the box below the one that says, sure, I'd love to help however I can.
On an all-new South Park.
How many of you, when you say no, feel momentarily guilty? Raise your hand. Yeah. Yeah, that's me. That's me, everybody. Yep. 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 I think everybody does. Yeah. Okay. Very good. I just wanted to have a little bit of levity there after watching a poor dog lose his owner and realize that his new is now a woman. Which is very poignant. I'm not discounting that at all, but I wanted a little bit of a palate cleanser. All right, folks. Let's reconvene at 10:08. 5-minute break. For those of you who are not in Central Time, 5 minutes from now. 10:08. Righto. See you in a bit. Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. So I have this question for you. Does receiving favors and freebies make you uncomfortable? When somebody gives something to you, or when you receive something, like a gift, does it make you uncomfortable? Do you just say to yourself, you might as well have just kept it? Why did you give it to me? There's a name for this. There's a name for this. Reciprocity anxiety. Reciprocity anxiety. Reciprocity anxiety. So there was a paper that came out. It's a factor analysis paper, so we don't need to go through a ton of stuff. But questions that participants were asked. So this is in China, okay? So there's some cultural things with this study. So just recognize that, okay? They ask these questions. I'll never ask for help if I don't have to avoid owing others. Usually I don't accept favors unless I am sure I can pay back all the favors quickly. One should not ask a favor from a friend if he is unable to pay it back. I avoid asking for favors if I cannot repay the favor. When someone offers to help me, I usually reject it if I cannot rid myself of the debt through reciprocation. I hesitate to ask for help because then I don't need to think about what I might give in return. You can see here that those 6 are loading on this one factor. That loading means that these are highly related to one another. Weirdo!
I'm sorry, but
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
never felt that before.
Okay. So those are related to each other, and you can kind of tell that they are related to each other because they all have the same similar kinds of wording. And then over here, when I receive favors from somebody, I worry about how to repay them. I am often afraid that I cannot reciprocate favors in time. I worry about people who think of me if I fail to reciprocate the favors I receive from others. Sometimes I think I am too concerned with reciprocating the favors. I am restless and on edge when I owe someone. And so these are related to one another. And they all speak to this reciprocity anxiety, which is avoidance behavior. Oh, it's so cool. And so it's a new scale. Well, new scale as of 2018. So relatively new. Okay. Elena says she has this. Merrick says, depends on the context. If I don't know them, I don't care. But if I know them, then yeah, a bit. Especially if I don't have anything to give back. Now you have a word for it, everyone who has this issue. Reciprocity anxiety. Reciprocity anxiety. Reciprocity anxiety. Oh, I almost swallowed my coffee. I mean, inhaled my coffee. I almost swallowed my coffee. God. All right. Let's talk about helping more broadly. Okay. So now that you owe someone, you think about it day in, day out, AJ, I'm sorry. It is, I have it too. It is up. So annoying. So annoying. Let's stop doing it. Okay. Sorry. Alright. So, bystanders. Bystanders. This clip from the Cornell Daily Sun. It's from 1993. Hey, when they actually printed out newspapers. What I want you to focus on here is bystanders stop suicide attempt. Bystanders stop suicide attempt. Okay. So, Cornell student was hospitalized Sunday evening after he attempted to jump into the Cascadilla Gorge, but was restrained by passers-by, authorities reported. The male student, whose name is not being released, reportedly ran nude through College Town before stopping on the sidewalk of the College Avenue Bridge. When he proceeded to climb over the stone railing, some witnesses grabbed and held him to the ground until police arrived. The episode began shortly after 6 p.m. when the Ithaca Police Department received a telephone call from a friend of the student. The student had just left his apartment and was depressed and nude, the friend told police. Moments later, the police received numerous calls that the nude male was on the bridge near 400. But when officers arrived on the scene, they learned that passers-by had subdued the subject as he attempted to jump. According to Sergeant John B. of Ithaca Police, the male, 21, was subsequently taken to Tompkins County Hospital for evaluation. Although officials would not disclose the subject name, they did confirm that he was registered with Cornell during the last academic year. The student will not be charged with any crime, adding that hospital officials will be responsible for deciding what treatment, if any, the individual might require. Good Samaritans. Although hundreds of people saw the nude male run through College Town toward the bridge, only a handful chose to intervene in the matter, witnesses said. Saul praised those who helped avert a possible tragedy, saying, quote, "They did an amazing job. These people saw a situation and reacted tremendously," end quote. Pablo Salnova, one of those present at the scene, said he was walking along and saw the nude individual but did not immediately realize what was taking place. "It didn't really hit me," Salnova said, adding that it decided to intervene when friends realized that the student was about to jump. Rob Lee, another witness, said he first stood back and watched as the nude student talked with what appeared to be a friend. When the student tried climbing over the railing, the friend grabbed his arm and spectators ran over to assist. Lee and Salnova said they grabbed the student by his arms and held him to the ground until a larger group of bystanders came over. Neither individual recalls hearing the nude student say anything other than to those who subdued him. The two Good Samaritans added that they might not have intervened if not for the quick thinking of a third friend who was there. The friend, Gretchen Goldfarb, a freshman, suggested that someone help out when she sensed the nude student was planning to harm himself. Something just clicked, Goldfarb said, recalling the point when she started to view the situation as a crisis rather than simply a harmless prank. Goldfarb added, here's the critical one. Goldfarb added a recent psychology lesson prompted her to intervene. At a Psych 101 lecture last Friday, Goldfarb said she was told about the phenomenon of bystander non-intervention. Professor James B. something, Mars, maybe? I don't know. Who teaches Psych 101, explained that bystander non-intervention occurs when a large crowd witnesses an emergency, but no one will offer to help out. Bystanders rationalize their non-intervention by speculating that someone will help, or the incident maybe is a prank. Oh, Moss. It was Moss. Moss called those who helped the depressed student true psychological heroes, adding that education has been shown to prevent bystander non-intervention. Isn't that really cool? Isn't that really cool? Thanks, Noobflux, for the follow. Isn't that really cool? I think it's really cool. So now you will intervene, right? Every single time. Everyone who is watching, you will intervene every single time. The question was asked by a few of the discussion folks. Sorry, that somebody's moving something upstairs. Great. Thanks, children. Okay. Saw me yell up there. Okay. Bystander Non-Intervention, or the Bystander Effect, right? So this was the idea that people, through diffusion of responsibility and pluralistic ignorance, decide not to help in a situation. They decide not to help in a situation because they think somebody else will take care of it. And so, like I said, there were a few questions about this, right? Why do people not help? Or does culture play a willingness in help? What is the deal? What is the deal with bystander and reflection, non-intervention, or the bystander effect? It's because people don't know. There are a lot of variables in life, and when you don't know, or when other people aren't concerned, then you're gonna choose not to act. And one of those questions was why don't people act in that situation? And and specifically the Darlie and Latine 1968 thing video that I showed, where like the girl, the female participant was like, none of these people care that there's smoke coming from this doorway, because everybody was like, huh. The reason why pluralistic ignorance works here is because we don't want to look like idiots in social situations. We are so embarrassment avoidant that we will not act in these situations. We will not act in these situations because we don't want to make a big to-do out of something that may end up being, and because it's according to others in the moment, maybe a non-issue. We don't want to be embarrassed for making something bigger than it actually is, making a mountain out of a molehill. And so that's why a lot of people in this situation didn't help. They didn't help because they were like, oh, okay, it's just the guy streaking. And it took somebody who was really tuned into that idea of bystander non-intervention that actually was the one who went and helped, right? So the next time you see me in trouble, it's because you need to help me. And only me, nobody else. Just kidding. But imagine how, like, awesome Professor Moss felt. Imagine how awesome he felt when he heard that a freshman student of his was like, saves the day. So good. If you're ever in a situation where it looks like there's pluralistic ignorance, say something. Say something. See something, say something. Just shout it out into the crowd. Like, are you not all worried that there is smoke right here? And if somebody has an answer for you, oh no, that's just a smoke machine. Then you'd be like, oh, okay, no fire. There's no need to actually be embarrassed by that. Good on you, Elena. Yeah, I actually get my ears pricked up quite a bit. I get my ears pricked up quite a bit when I hear screaming that is seemingly blood-curdling kind of screams, right? Screams of terror or fear of some kind. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, I'm glad you went and did that. Yeah. And people are afraid to be embarrassed in that situation. They're afraid to be embarrassed in that. Okay. Who in chat donates their time or their money? Who donates time and or money? So volunteering, donating. Ollie, you scared the crap out of me. Go upstairs, please. Merrick does. Which one do you do? Okay, Golden Duke gives time. Rachel, which one do you do? Grayson, which one would you like to do more? I should have been more specific. Do you do those things, and which one do you do? Okay, both, generally much as possible. Alright. Very cool. Both more for Grayson. Time never, money frequently. Okay. Time way more than money for Rachel. Who else? What else do we donate? Volunteered in high school for Sophia. Okay. Great. Oh, very nice, Golden Duke. Helping move somebody last week that had back problems. Wouldn't have been my sister, would it? No. She moved last weekend. Elena, made me feel better to know that they were okay. And you donate both. But time is more enjoyable. Okay. I like that. It's a great addition to the conversation. Enjoyable, right? And I said this in the lecture video. I said that it makes us feel good when we help in this way. And volunteerism tends to be quite a bit more, okay? And so what's the mechanism here? Well, you've never heard of The Conversation, by the way. This is a great website. This is where, generally speaking, researchers go to write their own articles. I have me and Randy Stein have an article regarding one of our studies on The Conversation. So, generally speaking, The Conversation is like a research digest kind of thing, but instead of being written by journalistic writers, it's written, as you can see here, Christina Carnes. She's actually a researcher, so she wrote this for the masses. Conversations are a great website, so I recommend it if you want to read more accessible research-based stuff. Okay. AJ, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I don't know what problems you're having with chat these days. My goodness. Merrick said, once I organized a drive to get newspaper donations for local animal kennels. Okay. Cool. So what is the mechanism for feeling better when you help someone, when you do engage in this prosocial kind of behavior? Well, one set of evidence seems to be that the brain areas that are active when you are feeling grateful, so the emotion of gratitude, complex emotion of gratitude, when you are feeling grateful, those same mechanisms, those same brain areas are active when you are charitable. Okay, so activating gratitude activates feelings of charity. Okay, being grateful activates feelings of charity, which I think is really, really, really interesting. Okay, so this is neuroscience work. And here you have somebody in an fMRI, da 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 da, and so the idea here is that there is a shared pathway for helping and for gratitude, and it appears to be in the medial frontal lobe. This is the medial part of the brain. I will grab Brian here. Give me 1 sec. All right, I've got Brian. If you're like, who the hell is Brian? Because you haven't seen the stream before, or at the beginning of the term. Brian is my model brain, and the black bits are well, they're blue. They're getting green screened out pretty much. They're a bit too similar to the green screen, unfortunately. They're getting, so this is a blue, this bit right here. Anyways, no, it's not a cadaver brain. No. It's a it's plastic. I'm sure it's something more. Sure, it's something more better than plastic, but it's colored and stuff, and it comes apart. Oh boy. Oh god, such good stuff. Okay, so it's getting green screened out here. Oh well. So the area that this, oops, I didn't mean to scroll that. The area that is being highlighted here is this area right here, where my finger is. Okay, so if you're looking at a three-dimensional brain, in which you are, okay, right here. Okay, so the front but middle part. So it's on the inside. Kind of like where this pin is, actually, to keep the brain together. Okay, so Brian here is telling you that this is what was identified. When people feel gratitude, this area is identified in brain scans. And then when people feel altruistic or more giving, according to this research paradigm that they used here, the activity that they had them use, this was also activated. There's significant overlap with these two brain areas. Okay. So identifying that as the first step, understanding what the brain is doing. So bad. Let's do this side, huh? Shall we? Because this is actually green right here. This is actually green. Anyways. It's about the same. Actually, my brain is actually technically. This is slightly larger than a. So, understanding what it means to be charitable, what it means to be altruistic on a psychological level, can also be interpreted on this neuroscientific level. This brain, this brain science level. Okay, because I think it's really cool. So practice makes grateful, makes altruistic. Again, because a lot of the things in the brain require repeated use. And so the more you feel grateful, the idea goes, the more you feel grateful, the more charitable you might be. The more you feel grateful, the more charitable you might be. Okay? So that is why I wanted to bring this up. So as you entertain feelings of gratitude in your life, this might spur you to be a little bit more, spur you to be more charitable. Now that I know that some of you donate your time as well as money, before I go through this conversation piece, 5 reasons why people give their money away plus 1 why they don't, why do you donate your money? Why do you, as the vast majority of the people watching are young adults, emerging adults, and there's an obvious issue with young adults not having a ton of money. Why give it away? Why give it away? What's your reason for helping? Drop that in chat before I load this up. Drop that in chat. Why not? No. You may not answer my question with another question. I want an actual answer for why you do it. Alright, AJ says, donate in order to help someone who is struggling. I could very well be in that same position. That is a good way to look at it. Golden Duke says, time is the greatest gift to give. Is it? Elena says, to help others and make myself feel good. I also believe in karma, so good will come to me as well. Fair enough. Alright, Merrick, that's a much better answer. Because I can't find a convincing to. Well, there are plenty of reasons why not. Whether they're good reasons is neither here nor there, but there are reasons as to not. Right? It says it right here in the title. +1 why they don't. So there are reasons for not doing it, but that wasn't my question to you. Because that's not answering the question on a personal level. That's giving a social desirable answer. Why do you donate your time? What's in it for you? Okay, so what are the reasons for you to say yes then? I don't go around killing people because the reasons for not killing people aren't good enough for me. I don't kill people because I don't actually want to kill people because that would be antithetical to who I am as a person, right? Feeling good about helping those in need. Okay, that's the kind of answer that's the kind of answer I'm looking for. All right. So what are the reasons that research suggests people give their money away? Or in other forms, right? Because this is a food pantry. Right? This is donated food. So you have to buy the food first. That's an indirect way of giving away your money, right? So this is from Dutch scholars Renee Beckers and Pamela Whitking. Not the two people here. Not the two people here, but these two people are researchers. Okay, just again the conversation here. So what are the reasons? Taste for charity. TASTE is an acronym. So it stands for trust, altruism, social, taxes, and egoism. Okay, so the first reason why people donate their time and money is people are more likely to give to nonprofits that they trust will use their donated money to make a difference, as well as for the stated reasons for why they are making those donations. So I donate, me and my wife donate to the Bail Project. A small amount every month, but that's another thing too, is donating on a consistent basis is always very helpful. And so we donate to the Bail Project every month because the Bail Project specifically states cash donations that are received go to the bail fund to get people who can't afford to go out on bail. And then other donations that they receive from grants and fellowships and other things like that go toward their more broader goals, which are to change the cash bail system, or to technically get rid of the cash bail system in the United States. And those are things that I personally believe are very important. So we donate to that for those goals, but they specifically state, and I trust them to use that because that's pretty much their entire goal, is to get people who can't afford bail out on bail. If you want to know more about that, you can go to bailproject.org. Small little plug there. The second reason is altruism. Okay. Altruism. Donors tell us again that they find it important to help others in need. This reinforces earlier findings by scholars, Clary, Snyder, and colleagues, that find the most important reason for volunteering is altruistic concern for others. It's more appropriately identified as prosocial concern for others, because as we stated in the video, actual altruism is incredibly difficult to obtain. Okay. Social is the third reason. Many donors say they give because their donations matter to someone they know and they care about. For example, many married couples often make charitable donation decisions together. I just said that. People who knew someone who has a disease or has died from one may make donation to a charity that promotes research for that disease. Generally speaking, that happens all the time. Or people may invite friends to a fundraiser for one of their favorite charities, or just ask for a contribution. Something that's happening on Facebook quite a bit these days, right? People who are celebrating their birthdays, and they start a donation campaign. That's contained within this reason here, right? Something that the Girl Scout cookies do when ring their neighbors' doorbells with their cookie forms in hand. So the Girl Scout cookies and Girl Scouts do this so well, and I would say that there would still be a market. Thanks, Hambo Baggins. I would say there would be a market for Girl Scout cookies, even if they tasted like absolute garbage, right? Because of the way that they do it, and helping little girls obtain funding, even if the cookies taste like garbage. Luckily, they don't taste like garbage, and they are so good that they just... Oh, cool, baby. She made some connects things for me. The fourth reason... Okay. The fourth reason is taxes. You get tax breaks in the United States for donating money. You have to donate a lot of money for it to become actually useful as a deduction, because you have to itemize your deductions in order to get the tax breaks for them. But you can bunch them from previous years. You can bunch them together. But like I said, going from... What, baby? No, thank you. I have to go do my stream. I can be an animal after my stream. Yeah, after lunch. After lunch. Okay. Okay, thanks. Hambo Baggins, yeah, we are talking about charitable donations. Egoism is the fifth reason. Egoism was when you do something for some personal benefit, which, by the way, is antithetical to the altruism, right? So part of taste here is actually opposite, okay? Look. I won't touch it. Okay. Okay. I got it, Ellie. I can't help you right now. How about try reducing your transcoding the quality of the stream. Okay. The one reason why people don't is because they don't have the money to. Okay. Reasons not to give, and you can see here that it's almost on the same level as social, and you can see here that most people give because they want to be altruistic. Second most reason why people give is because they trust the organization that they give to. Then social, but then financial restraints do change that narrative a little bit. And then egoism and tax breaks are another reason why people share their money. Okay. But just in case that you were curious as to whether helping makes you feel better, it does. Gift giving makes you feel better. It is very tiring. And so raise your hand if you are just wasted after volunteering or getting people to try to do this, that, or the other thing. Just raise your hand if you think that's something that happens. I love this picture that the Harvard Business Review used for it. That's a very tired koala. Okay. So this is from Claudiana Lanage, or Lanage. She did a study. Right, there is burnout associated with it, Grayson. Yeah, for sure. There is definitely volunteerism burnout. Yeah, it makes you physically tired. It makes you physically tired to go and help. They published a paper and they found that people are extremely tired after and right here. First, it's important to recognize that in addition to positive effect, helping has negative effects that may persist for hours or days for the helper. In the first study, I show that depleting effects of helping were stronger than the replenishing effects. Second, on days when helpers feel depleted from helping, they can resort to short-term solutions to restore their energy. For example, research suggests that taking breaks, napping, and or consuming caffeine may be short-term solutions for depleted helpers. Third, whereas refusing to help may constitute a social faux pas, agreeing to help at a future and more opportune time for the helper is appropriate. Thus, when possible, helpers may be better served if they help at the end of their workday or work week, or after they have accomplished important goals on their own. Okay, and then there are 3 ways in which we lessen the costs here. So, first, help seekers ought to be aware of the harmful effects of responding to help requests. It will make you tired. It will deplete you. Okay. Second, help seekers may be better served if they search for solutions by first consulting resources such as manuals and websites. It'll improve their self-efficacy in safeguarding their time, right? And own personal resources. Third, help seekers can facilitate the replenishing effects of helping by expressing gratitude. We've already found out today that we get a little bit better, right? By explaining to others how their actions benefited help seekers' work and day. While saying thank you might sound obvious, we're less likely to express thanks at work than anywhere else. Okay? So, just keep that in mind. True, Hambo. If you feel more personally invested in the volunteer or donation or whatever you're doing for the helping, it can mitigate some of those effects. But it actually, at least research suggests, you will still get tired, and there is still possibility for burnout. Just ask any teacher. Right? They are getting paid for it. And many will argue underpaid for it. And there's a lot of talk these days of burnout, and specifically among higher education academics, where we are asked to research, to teach, and to perform service, and it becomes very and then also have a work-life balance where we have a personal life. And it gets very overwhelming very quickly. And many people these days, in the last 5 or so years, are being very vocal about their burnout. And so if that's even a case, well, people are getting paid. Well, people are even paid for it, right? Paid for their work versus volunteerism. There's still similarities there on getting tired. You're not immune to getting tired. Okay. Supply and demand determines pay. That doesn't apply here. That doesn't apply for teacher pay. I can tell you that much for sure. If we really valued teachers in this country, in the United States, then we would pay them more than they're worth. Especially with all the people saying, I want my kid to go back to school! Okay. I want to end with something that is near and dear to my heart, because I am an awkward person, and I feel awkwardness very, very strongly in social situations. So I wanted to... yes, Golden Duke, hazard pay for teachers. Me included. What I wanted to do is talk about how to ask for help without making it weird, right? Without making it awkward. So we're going to end this stream by talking about this, okay? So stop apologizing profusely, by the way. Stop saying sorry. And I mean, like, stop saying sorry because you're not, because you don't take any responsibility for your actions. I'm just saying that, you know, when you're asking for help, you don't need to apologize for asking for help. Okay? You don't need to apologize for asking for help. And apologizing profusely when asking for help does make the situation more awkward, because now not only does the person you're asking for help feel like their help isn't necessarily worth it, that the person now has to somehow fold pity into the help that they're offering. And, you know, if you're asking for help, you don't need pity. Okay? You just need the help. You don't need pity. Okay? And so a lot of the times this will fall firmly into the controlled helping category. I'm doing this because I have to, not because I want to. I'm so sorry to ask you for this, Heidi, but I could really use your help with this assignment. It's terrible that I have to ask. I really should be able to do it myself, and I know you are a bit busy. I just really hate myself for asking. Don't do that. Don't do that. I say that with the best intentions. I know that you feel like you want to respect people's time and respect people's effort and respect people. If you need help, you just ask for it. Okay? No need to apologize. So that was the first thing that I wanted to point out here, because I think it's the most important thing that I see. Okay? The other one is overdoing it on empathy. Try not to overdo it. Okay? Don't try to make people see your side if it's not important to see your side if you need the help, right? All you need is a little bit of, you need a smidge or a soupçon of empathy, and the help request becomes that much more agreeable, okay? And try not to say, I feel your pain, too often. Bill Clinton. Feel your pain. Okay. The third thing is using disclaimers. Stop doing that too. I'm not normally the type to ask for help. I wouldn't ask you if I had the choice. I hate to ask you for this, but ... Like, everyone needs help, right? So if you want to make it less awkward, don't be this, by the way, is 100% pride speaking right here. Using disclaimers like this makes it seem like you never need help, which is completely false, because when you were born, you needed all the help. You needed 100% help. You couldn't even eat without help. Sure, you could go to... You may not have needed any help to go to sleep or sleeping, but some people, some infants need a lot of help to go, and you need help to get your pee and poo cleaned up. Like, you know, leave the pride at the door when asking for help. Don't emphasize how much the other person loves helping. You're gonna love it. It'll be so much fun. You're gonna love it. Nah, Don't worry about it. You're gonna love it. Okay. But what if I don't love it? Now you're putting that expectation onto me, and now I have to deal with that expectation. I don't want to deal with that expectation. What if I don't have fun? Now, do I blame myself for not having fun, or do I blame you for saying that it's going to be fun for helping, when in fact it wasn't fun? How dare you? Never ask me for help again. I like this. Don't tell me how I'm going to feel, you big jerk. That's for me to decide. Okay? Portraying the help you need as a tiny, insignificant favor. Okay, well, there's a lot of stuff, and I'm gonna drop it in chat. I suggest reading it. And as a college student, many of you being college students, you're gonna be asking for help a lot. This is how to make it not awkward. Okay, I do recommend reading it. I do recommend reading it. These are very good tips. Very good tips. So that's gonna do it for this class. That's gonna do it for this class. Gonna switch to this mode for a couple of minutes. So no more streams at 9 a.m. Monday through Thursday for those of you who are not in the class, who were coming by to hang out and participate. I will be streaming normally on Wednesdays and Sundays, Wednesday evenings and Sunday afternoon, or mornings, late mornings, sorry. Central Time US. Psych subjects, office hours, fun stuff, sometimes gaming. So a sneak peek as to what I plan on doing next Wednesday night. So no stream on Sunday, just so I'm starting next Wednesday. I plan on talking about my research, a more of a review / theory paper on why the Myers-Briggs type indicator sucks. So if you're interested in that, stop by, hang out, ask questions about how the Myers-Briggs sucks. I'm gonna try to get my writing partner on, get him on like Skype or Zoom or something like that, so we can chat and talk about how we have a vendetta against the MBTI. So that's gonna be what Wednesday night's gonna be about, next Wednesday night. So a little less than a week from now. But other than that, thank you all for a great month of streams. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you learned something. I hope that when we meet again, it'll be under better circumstances. Enjoy the rest of your summer. I have some syllabi to make in the next 2.5 weeks. So that's it. That's gonna be it for social psych. But for my students, remember, you have 2 things to do tomorrow: the quiz, the last weekly quiz, and you got to make sure you get your paper in by 11:59 p.m. I will also accept discussion questions through Friday night. I plan on doing all grades on Saturday, so nothing will count after Friday. Nothing will count after Friday. So if you do something after Friday, it will not count. Okay? So all grades on Saturday, you'll have your final grade available to you as a percentage on Brightspace, and then in Sonus you'll get the letter grade. Probably on Saturday too. I'm not entirely sure when that comes up. But anyways, bye everybody. Have a good summer. New stream schedule next week. There it is.